You can tell a whole lot about a country and its people by the way they treat their visitors, their non-citizens. And to be honest with you, if you want to know whether you're appreciated in a foreign country, you have to be there. I am a Jamaican and I'm having great feelings of nostalgia and appreciation for Ghana because I spent a year there last year. And I'm back in the US now 6 months since I left Ghana. I've also visited Ghana many times. And to be honest with you, the nostalgia that I feel has caused me now to understand why it is that several centuries ago, some explorers went to Africa, went to my motherland, what they found there and what they did as a result of what they found there. I know they went there searching for natural riches and human resources, but I believe they found a lot more. And it's just unfortunate that the transatlantic slave trade abused the people and the system in such a way, a beautiful people. In today's video though, I'm going to share with you the 5 main things that I miss the most about Ghana. 5 main things. I can think of many, but I'm going to zoom in on the 5 things that stand out most to me, and I'm going to be sharing some personal examples so that you could understand why it is that I miss Ghana so much. Stay tuned. Welcome back. My name is AngieMarie and you've reached my YouTube channel. If this is the first time visiting my channel, I'm super happy to have you. And if you are a return subscriber, a return visitor, I am elated that you chose to click on this video and to visit my channel again. If you have not yet subscribed to this channel, please go ahead and hit that subscribe button and like this video. Hit that notification bell so that you could be alerted each time I post new content. On this channel, we focus on the things that make us happy, such as travel, finances, relationships, family, spirituality. Feel free to make any comment on anything that we're discussing today. The 5 things that had the most lasting impression on me as a Jamaican who visited Ghana and who lived there for a year, to the point that I'm nostalgic, to the point that I've been considering going back. And that is why I've made numerous trips to Ghana, because there's always something there that takes me back. Even though I go there as a solo traveler, it is something to remember because of the cross-cultural connections and the lasting memories that are forged. I want you to stay with me to the end. To be honest with you, the first and the last one are ones that have had the greatest impact. So those are the 2 that I'll probably say more about. Number 1 is Ghana's treatment of visitors. The word that comes to mind when I think of how we're treated as visitors is royalty. Ghana treats us like royalty. The point of entry tells you a lot about a country and how it sees its visitors. Once you enter that airport, there are those signs all over the walls. Akwaba, which means welcome. They go out of their way to welcome us. Some people, some groups have entered Ghana to the sound of drums, people beating drums to welcome them. Some have had birth naming ceremonies and other special events to welcome them as people whose ancestors were taken away, their forefathers, and Ghana welcomes us when we return to the country. It's a beautiful experience. Okay, so let me start with the point of entry into the country and some experiences that I had. Guys, listen to me. I've been to a lot of countries all over the world. And the Kotaka International Airport in Accra, Ghana has an atmosphere and an air about it that I don't feel anywhere else. There is that respect that is there. I've had a couple of situations which might have ended in a nasty fashion if it were another country. So, for example, I went to Ghana once and I had read my visa information wrong. Okay, but I mean, remember now, I've been going to the country a lot. Each time, whenever you're going, you have to make sure you have your visa and your passport. And most of the times I had a visitor's visa that was recurrent, so I could make more than 1 trips each year, or if I want to go more than once in a year. But sometimes that visa expires. So I was looking at the visa and reading it wrong, thinking that I had more time. But the immigration officer looked at my passport and he pondered for a while, and I'm thinking, what's going on here? And then he said to me, Madam, do you happen to have another passport? And I'm thinking, why is he asking me if I have another passport? Usually I would have my Jamaican passport also in my purse, but unfortunately at the time when this happened, I could have used my Jamaican passport and it would have been entry without any problem. But I wasn't aware at the time. So I did say to him, the American passport has not expired. This is what I'm using to travel. Is there a problem? And he said, Madam, did you realize that your visa expired? And I said, absolutely not, sir. What do you mean it expired? So he showed me and explained gently. I was then thinking, oh no, they're gonna put me back on the plane and ship me back to the US. But he said, took me aside and said, no, this is what you'll need to do. I'd have to visit a particular office and pay for a visa on arrival. Very gently, I said, okay, thank you so much. Immigration hall at Accra Kotaka International Airport. It's just an experience that you have to have. I'm telling you, I didn't meet grumpy people who just were unpleasant and rude. No, none of that. Pleasant people. The entire atmosphere was just so good. The people who are there are very helpful. I had another experience entering Kotaka. When I found out that I could use my Jamaican passport, I did just that. So when I tendered my Jamaican passport, guys, I'm telling you something, there were no questions asked. They just took the photograph, said welcome, stamped it, handed it back to me, and that was it. Jamaican passport is so very powerful in Ghana. And I'm gonna tell you some other things that are powerful in Ghana in respect of Jamaica. If you are a Jamaican listening to me, we are so privileged. And let me tell you, if you are a Jamaican and you've traveled somewhere and you have been made to feel that you're less of a person by other cultures or whatever, let me tell you something, you are very valuable, and if you are able to visit Africa, if you're able to visit Ghana, you will see and understand what I'm saying and why I say that as a Jamaican, as a foreigner, as a visitor, we're so welcome there. It's Akwaaba land, that's Ghana. Welcome. I've hardly gone into the city or gone out in Ghana and not seen minibuses or cars, taxis, Ubers that do not have the Jamaican flag attached in the windshield or in the back of the car somewhere. So sometimes when I've gone, I'm going and I'm passing by, I stop and I say, hey, I see the Jamaica flag on your car. Have you ever been are you Jamaican? No. I said, have you ever been to Jamaica? No. So I said, oh, so is there a reason you have, this is what they ask, is there a reason you have the Jamaica flag and so on? You know what they tell me? They say, we love Jamaica. We love the culture, the music, the sports, the way you guys are doing out there. And we believe that Jamaica, that you guys came from us. They have a lot of respect for us, guys. I'm telling you, a lot of respect for Jamaica. One day I put on my Jamaica t-shirt when I went to visit the slave castle. And to be honest with you, I felt like a celebrity that day. Everywhere I passed, people were asking me, are you from Jamaica? Are you Jamaican? At one point, we went to the market and I was wearing the shirt. Everybody, the guys, men that I passed there, they want to touch you. Are you Jamaican? That t-shirt. I said, yes. They want a hug. They want to stop you and talk to you some more about Jamaica. They love us. They love us. Ghanaians love people. And I'm telling you the truth, as I think about it, pardon me, as I think about the transatlantic slave trade, I've said to myself, these people visited the continent, and no doubt, they were warmly received in this manner, in the way Ghanaians do. And that gullibility and vulnerability, instead of leading to gratitude and love and harmony, it led to chains. I'm sorry. It led to chains and they were taken away. And it's been hundreds of years and we're still feeling the effects. And yet, even in spite of all that happened, we still have a beautiful people who are still warm and welcoming to visitors. And it's a people about whom I'm so proud. It's a people that love my country. It's a people that love us, that love people. Not long after I moved to the US, I was in New York and I did meet a precious Ghanaian lady who said to me, "Do you know anyone? I'm looking for a good Jamaican woman for my brother." Yeah, she said that to me. Jamaicans, you're in high demand. They know your worth and your value and are looking for you as wives. You need to visit Ghana. You need to visit Africa. You need to visit the continent. And I'm not saying that you should go expecting to find a husband. I went and it wasn't for that. But you will feel loved and respected. It is the truth. Immigration, point of entry. So, a year and a half ago, when I went to Ghana and I decided I was going to spend an extended period of time, this time it was not visitors visas. Now, I needed to apply for a residency, a resident permit. And to do that, I had to go to the immigration office in Accra. I went to the immigration office and that experience also was like none other. And if you have been to Ghana or if you're a visitor and you've lived in Ghana and some of what I'm sharing has not been your experience, please don't kill me, don't shoot me. I'm just sharing what my experience was. And if yours was different, let's talk. Join my community, let's talk, because maybe you have spoken with the wrong people. So here's what happened. I went to the immigration office and applied for residency. I met the immigration officer in charge and filled out the relevant details. And one of the things he asked me is, how long do I want this permit to last? And I was thinking to myself, okay, I could put a year, I could put 2 years, I could put 3, but something said to me, how about 5 years? Because I'm thinking, when I'm going to Ghana, I don't want to have to keep thinking about visas and so on. So let me start with 5 years. The gentleman said, okay, 5 years is it? I got it approved for 5 years. And to be honest with you, the cost to me was so minimal. But here's the interesting thing. The day when I went to collect my passport with the approved residency permit, I got a call that morning to remind me that my passport was ready. I think I was flying out the next day also, so I really did need my passport. I got a call that morning saying, I'm calling from the immigration office and your passport is ready. Now in my mind, I thought it was maybe an assistant, a personal assistant to the immigration officer in charge who called me. I later found out that he was the one himself who called me that morning. Isn't that incredible? Person who is in charge called me. So anyway, I went to collect my passport, went through the usual process, and at one point, just about when I was going to collect my passport, I saw the gentleman, the same one who spoke to me at the beginning, and he said, hey, you remembered my name? Yes, I spoke to you this morning. So I said, really? I thought it was an assistant or someone else who called me this morning. He said, no, he was the one who called. The time I got there, he said to me, I'm going to lunch right now. I'm gonna be having my fufu and some light soup. Would you like to join me? I've never been invited by an immigration officer before in my life to join them for lunch. Now, if that has never happened to you, don't kill me, all right? I'm just telling you my experience with the beautiful people of Ghana. The thing about it is I had an Uber driver who had taken me there and he was waiting on me. So I had to say to the officer, sir, I'm really so sorry. My Uber driver is waiting. So this time I'm gonna have to decline. I appreciate it, but I'm so sorry. I can't join you for lunch. But enjoy your fufu and your soup. I mean, how can one forget an experience like that? I got my passport, had my 5-year residency approval in there, and I went about my business. Let me share a few other situations. Going to Ghana, I rented a place. I won't take the time now to tell you all the details of the rental and so on, but as I said, you can join my community, we can connect, and if you want to know more. But rented a place and I had it in my mind exactly what sort of place I wanted. I knew I was going to be relying on Ubers for transportation. I understood what some of the road surfaces were like. So in my mind, I wanted a place that was close to a major road so that when I'm going in and out, it was easily accessible to transportation, such as my Ubers. If it rained, there was no wet, mushy dirt that I'd have to plumb through, or where there's flooding. I didn't want that. So when the real estate people were showing me to places, before I even went further with many of them, I said, no, please don't waste my time. let's not waste any time. I don't want this one. When I found the one, it was actually the second building on that road next to the main road. I'm like, yes. Had a huge gate, such as what we see in a lot of those African movies. I said, yes. Place was clean, 2 bedrooms, because I'm thinking if I have my sister or a guest or someone who needs to sleep over, I have the space for them. And I also wanted a place that I could use for my office. And I had my living area, kitchen, everything was in order. Front porch, back porch, it was just wonderful. The landlord and his family lived in the back. That was also good. So I felt so safe, so secure. But here's my experience with the landlord, for example. Several times in the mornings, he would come and knock. Hey, are you okay? Mama Angie, are you good? Are you okay? And one day, early in the whole process, he said to me, listen, I come here and I knock on your door and check on you. It's not because I'm trying to disturb you, but I realize that you're alone as a woman here, and we just want to make sure you're safe, you're okay, and that everything is good. I love that. Now, I know that we're living in an era where people don't want to be bothered. They don't even speak to their neighbors. They don't want to have anything to do with other people. So my landlord explained to me why it was that he's knocking. It's just that they want to make sure I'm okay. And as I said, I really appreciated that. Whenever they went to their village and got bananas, corn, yams, they would bring back and knock my door. Hey, would you like some of this? He brought one day, he had me taste their palm wine in the calabash, a cultural thing. These are things that I can never forget. The kindness was just off the charts. The family atmosphere was just off the charts. My experience has been that I feel very safe and protected in Ghana. I feel like Ghanaians are very protective of their visitors. They won't hurt you. So I've been on their buses. I've been on their luxury bus, air conditioned with reclining seats, going say from Accra to Kumasi. And once I open my mouth, I'm friendly, so I'll talk to people. Hey, how are you doing? Or I might speak something in their language. And when they hear me say Etiseng, they love it. They start speaking fast in their language, and then I have to say, hey, I'm sorry, I'm not Ghanaian. I only know about 10 words. But anyway, so I remember being on a bus one night, and there was a much older woman who was sitting close by. She heard me speaking to someone else, and she looked around, looked me in the eyes, and she doesn't understand English, and I couldn't speak her language very well. But she said a term. So I was like, oh gosh, what is she saying? But anyway, when I spoke to my contacts in Ghana, I asked them, what was this lady saying to me? And they said, she's saying, you're so pretty, you're beautiful. And I'm like, oh, God bless her. So that's Ghanaians. I've never had any issues with thieves, pickpockets, or anything like that. And I've been going to Ghana for many years. And as I said, I've been there more than 20 times, 25 times. For me to have gone so frequently and never had any negative experience like that, I believe that's good for the record for Ghana. And I could name many other examples. The second thing is it's food. Fresh, organic food, fruits, vegetables, spices. The food is so good. I went through various phases with the food, liking wachi, fufu with light soup, contomere. I got to a point where I loved contomere so much that I found out how to prepare it for myself, because I could not be thinking or affording going to buy contomere every day, right? So I figured out how to make it myself, and to be honest with you, when I made it, it was delicious. I love the food. I would buy the watermelon and blend it, drop some ginger and lime in there. You don't need sugar or anything else. So refreshing. Mangoes, everything. It's just like Jamaica, just like the Caribbean. We have fresh, organic stuff in Ghana, and I enjoyed that. The third thing I loved about Ghana is the atmosphere, the air, the fresh air, the cleanness of the air. The sunshine just like Jamaica. Now, for me personally, I love the sun, okay? Look at my skin right now, for example. My skin is taking on the color of the snow, all right? Because I'm not getting as much sunshine, as much vitamin D as I was getting in Ghana or even in Jamaica, in the Caribbean. So I loved going out and just letting the sun seep through my body. Some people don't like that. They get sweaty, but for me, I welcome it. It was like I'm being hugged and kissed by the sunshine, and I love that in Ghana. Year round, no snow, no problem. the birds, the roosters crowing in the morning. Now, let me tell you something about me. I was born in Kingston and raised in Kingston, Jamaica, which is a city. I am always a city girl. When my family used to send us to the countryside for holidays, I didn't like it. You know, I liked the lights of the city, the excitement and booming of the city instead of this quiet sort of thing. But in Ghana, I guess it was a season when I needed that peace and quiet. And in the mornings, you'd hear the roosters crowing. It just did something to my soul. I'm telling you, I just love it. Atmosphere of peace, safety, sunshine, birds, roosters. Ghana, that's one of the things I love about Ghana. Number 4 is its cloth and fabric. What you see me here wearing is one of the, well, you can't see the style here, but their seamstresses, their dressmakers are really good. Usually when I go, if I'm going to Ghana, say for a week or 9 days or so, I would quickly after landing, by the next day or so, I would go buy my cloth, link with my dressmaker, tell her what I want. Sometimes they look at, you know, they kind of know what style might be also good for you. They design, do their thing. And in a few days, I have my dresses. Love it. Absolutely love it. The fabric, the cloth, the beauty. Sometimes I would go in those fabric stores and I'm saying to myself, I'm so confused because you have so many choices, so many varieties. At first I used to be confused. I'm like, how do people know what to pick? So what I learned to do eventually was, before going there, I kind of had in my head the colors that I want. So I say, you know what? I want something with yellow and orange and so forth. And then when I go to the store, I focus. I zoom in on the area that had those colors and I looked at the design and patterns and then pick what I want to make it simple and easy. Or I say, okay, I think I need some black and white combination today, or purple or gold or something, and that made it a little easier. The souvenirs, I had these custom made for me in Ghana, where they, you know, this is a different type. It's personalized with my name. You could do some with your country colors, your flag colors, personalized. It's beautiful. I love it. We do this in Jamaica as well, in the Caribbean, but the style of it in Ghana is just so special. I found it to be very special. I love that. Now, the 5th and final thing that stood out to me in Ghana that really touches my heart is their respect and regard for family. That's the culture. Family, your parents, your fathers and your mothers are respected. You're treated with respect regardless of the age of the child. We live in an era where grown children, adult children sometimes feel that, oh, they're at the same level as the parents. Never in Ghana. Never, never, never. The respect is always there for their parents. I love that. It's a culture of honor, respect, and appreciation for the role of parents, for the family, for the community. I love and miss that about Ghana. Now, I have not given birth to any Ghanaian children, but to be honest with you, there are so many people in Ghana who refer to me as mom. Sometimes you even meet people who are older than you or within the same age group, and they still call you mom, mama, mama Angie, mom Angie. So when you have people in Ghana who consider you to be mom or dad, they mean it from their heart, even though you did not give birth to them. If you need anything, they're ready, if they're around, right? I'm not saying that somebody's gonna leave from Kumasi to Accra to assist you, but they'll stay in touch and they'll show their respect for you, okay? Now, I'm gonna share something with you that happened recently, and it has to do with one of my sons, calls me mom. Recently, I've not been hearing much from him. So a few days ago, I saw a message from him. The message said, hello. Guess what? I looked at it, I'm like, who does he think he's addressing as hello? He's not talking to me. That's just to show you how people may call it spoiled I've been, that I've gotten to the place where I expect to be addressed a certain way, because it's always been like that. So I'm saying to myself, he's not, maybe he sent that, he meant to send it to someone else and it came to me in error, so I ignored it. Then yesterday we had a phone conversation And on the phone, I said, Etiseng, which is how are you in their language. Would you believe he didn't say Bibiaboko or Nyamiedom or say anything to me in the Ghanaian language? I think he said something in English. So I said, Etiseng again. And he did the same. I said, Etiseng. And he said, oh, Nyamiedomo. So I said, listen, first of all, you sent me a message just saying hello. Who do you think you are talking to? And he said, and I said, I'm saying Etiseng to you and you're answering. He said, Mom, I thought you forgot our language. Now, you know what? I know why he said that. And this is something that happens with my Jamaican people too. And I'm going to just say it here. Listen, my people, this is Angie, okay? And God has had it so that I relate to people all over the world. I love my people, Jamaica, but listen, my assignment on earth has a lot to do with people from other cultures. I find that sometimes when I talk about Ghana and Ghanaians, some of my people get into their feelings, okay? Stop it. Or I'm talking about Haiti, my Ghanaians or Jamaicans get into their feelings, and each time I'm talking about a different one, the others like jealous children. You guys need to stop it, okay? Yeah? You I'm talking to. So anyway, back to my son. He said, oh, I'm sorry, Mom, I'm sorry. And I said, no. In addition to saying you're sorry, you need to add the word paucho, me paucho. In Ghana, that's their Ghanaian way of saying. And he said, oh, me paucho, he said, me paucho pa. He's adding pa to it to me, and I'm very, 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 very sorry. And I said, yes, don't let it happen again, sir. Don't let it happen again, sir. So he said, okay, Mom. So that's a lesson too for my Jamaican people, my St. Vincent, St. Lucia, Ghana, Nigeria, Haiti, other Caribbean places, Peru, wherever. Don't get into your feelings when you see me sharing about my loved ones from other places, because you know it's just one love. It's one love throughout. You will feel loved, respected, and honored as a visitor there. It's peaceful, it's calm. And of course, as you would do anywhere in the world you visit, you should take the usual safety precautions. But for the most part, Ghana is so peaceful and welcoming to visitors. You'll keep hearing Akwaba. Akwaba, oh. I've shared the 5 things that have made the most lasting impression on me, and you know there are a few things that I do not miss about Ghana. Let me say that real quick. I do not miss the situations, the issues relating to infrastructure, and sometimes I've said the government that does not provide the kind of road infrastructure and stuff, internet infrastructure that the citizens need, are giving the people something that they really do not deserve. Sometimes I've seen projects that got started on a particular road or so, and then I come back the following year and they're still working on it. And just to show you how precious these Ghanaian people are, when I say they're still working on these roads, why is it taking so long? They're like, oh yeah, the government, they're working on it. They always say that. The government is working on it. They're very patient. Very, very patient people. Precious people. Most of the main roads are in good order, but sometimes when you go off on the side roads, some of them can be a bit horrifying. Look, this is the 21st century, and I don't like when I'm hearing, oh, it's Africa and it's a third world, less developed country. Get it developed, get it going. That's how I'm thinking. Hey, what is it? You guys have resources. Why not? So I don't miss that part. When I went to Ghana, I want good internet, and I have to have good internet because I have to maintain my communication. I have work to do. I have to have internet. So I did not go with the government slow slow pace internet. I wanted high speed, good quality internet, so I paid for the private one so that I could have my internet access. Many people probably cannot afford to pay for that. It's something that I think ought to be fixed. Ghanaians are never in a hurry, really. Customer service is different from what we're accustomed to in the West, you know, where it's like customer is king. Sometimes I don't think Ghana has caught up to that. They take their time, they don't care. You could be there huffing and puffing. They'll be like, oh yes, madam, and just going as slow as ever. The other thing is when you're, for me, my personal experience, when you're there alone and some gentlemen, some men see you by yourself, immediately they're thinking, I need to be a husband to this woman or have her married. And sometimes that, you know, people are not thinking about a husband at a point in time. So, but the thing about them though is that once they realize that you're not interested, they're not going to be pushy and trying to push something on you. But I find that it's pretty common where if a man sees you that you're alone, they think that they need to make sure that you're not alone. They know your worth and your value. You need to visit Ghana. You need to visit Africa. You need to visit the continent. Feel loved and respected. It is the truth. They want to make sure that you're not alone. All right, so we've come to the end of this video, and I'm really grateful that you chose to stay with me to the end. I really appreciate that. If you have not yet subscribed to this channel, please go ahead and subscribe, like this video. Watch my other videos. I have other videos that relate to my time in Ghana and other countries. And look out for my next video, which is coming soon. Thank you. Thank you so much for your time. This is Angie Marie, and I'll see you soon in the next video.